Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mike Polimer. I'm the groundskeeper for the Little League fields here in Sharon. I've been doing this since 1997, so this would make it my 22nd season. We wanted to put together a little video to demonstrate how to dry out the fields to make them playable. So let's get started. Very first thing you need to do is, when you're going to think about drying out a field, is you need to assess the incoming weather and make sure it's worthwhile trying. If it's just going to rain again, you're wasting your time. And typically, the sunny, warm, windy conditions promote drying. Warm, sunny, wind, and the fields will dry. As a note of interest, we just had 2.5 inches of rain on these fields. We left 1 puddle for the demonstration. The next thing to do is to check the infield skin. The dirt part is called the skin. Make sure that assess if it's too muddy to continue, because just because the skin looks dry doesn't mean it is dry. This is pretty good. This is pretty dry. This is wet and pretty mushy, but we're gonna work on that. The first thing we do, and I'm gonna put down the paper for a second. The first thing we do, and bear with us, we have some funny names for stuff that we've developed over the years for some reason. We call this the pickle fork. Now everything you see here is available for the coaches in the umpire shed. Everything you see here, and I'm using your equipment. We call this the pickle fork. Now what you do with this is you go into the puddle, and you want to do this first before you do anything. You go into the puddle, you move it around. You don't really turn up the dirt, but you make a spot for the water to percolate down. And what will happen is, between the holes that you punch and just normal percolation, you'd be surprised, the water will disappear. What you should do is, you should do this first before you do anything else. And if you're working on a field, go around, see the water's already disappeared. If you want to go around to all your puddles and do this first before you get into the next step, because while you're doing the next step, which would be bailing out the puddles, and I'm going to leave one little spot, Mother Nature will work for us and the water will disappear. So there we go, the water's already started to disappear. But say we went all around, and now we have water that we have to deal with. The important thing is to get rid of the standing water. You have to get rid of the standing water. The next step that we do is bucket, cans. This is not a big puddle, but you go in, get the standing water. Now one thing you can do, this isn't a great big puddle, but what you can do is you can take the can or a shovel and gently make a little hole. The water will seek its own level, it will flow into the hole, and you get to you can get rid of the standing water. Now what I'm going to say is, you probably can't do this 10 minutes before your game. You can't do it. You've got to come out here before the game. Now, here's a puddle right over here we didn't do anything with. And let's fork it. Now this is pretty soft in here. I think I might have hit a dry rub. Open it up, and the water is going to disappear. Like magic, it disappears. And there it goes, it disappears. So after you've gone around to all your puddles and you poach the holes, and then you try and bail out all the water, would be a bigger puddle. Now you say, well, I just can't get rid of the rest of it. Okay, get an old towel. Go in your wife's linen closet. She probably has some old ones like my wife. You put down a towel, suck up the water, Suck up that water. Find a dry spot on the towel. Now if you run out of towel, you can always dump the water either from the bucket or the towel on the grass. You won't hurt the grass. We don't want to put dirt into the grass, but what comes out of the towel is fine. Here's a little spot over here we'll take care of with the towel. And the puddle is almost gone. The next step, we want Mother Nature to work for us. This is wet and mushy. You want to take a rake, and you want to fluff up the mud. You might want to go around and do it 2 or 3 times on a field or on a series of fields. We fluff up the mud. What that does is it increases the surface area, it lets the sun and the wind in, and the field will dry. Then, let's say we did this and that's the way it looks, and it's been that way for, you're getting ready to play. Last thing, very last thing, this is the infield conditioner. There's bags of it in the umpire shed. What you want to do is you want to put it down. You can dump a little bit of it down. I like to kind of spread it out by hand, a little bit, not using a lot. You don't want to dump 50 pounds. Little bit, little bit, little bit. There you go. Now, is it muddy here? Yeah, but we didn't give the right amount of time to drying that up. You can see the infield conditioner is starting to change color. Put it down. Here's a little puddle in here where we poked the holes and the water went in. Put a little in there. You can't, there's no problem. This stuff here, you can put more down if you want. Then, say we waited 10, 15 minutes and that's as good as it got. The last step, break the infield conditioner in. Maybe you want to put some more down. And it's a muddy spot. We didn't make it perfectly dry, but if we had done it in the right amount of time, it would be dry. And it's right now, it's 2:45. I guarantee you when the team comes out here to practice at 5:30 or whatever it is, this is going to be effectively a dry spot. So that's what you need to do. You need to have the time. There's no substitute for the time, and it's good to go. We've used the method for many, many years, and it does work. It takes a little bit of work and a little bit of time, but you can dry out the field and make it playable. So that's the thing. If anybody questions, comments, let me know. We'll discuss it. Always open to a new, better idea perhaps. So have a good season, play ball, and everyone good season and be safe.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.